Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE Monday Night Raw episode 1356, which was broadcast on May 20th, 2019. So this is the day after Money in the Bank, and I watched parts of this episode as it aired. Because I was traveling back home from California, having attended Comic-Con Revolution in Ontario. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Probably not a whole lot of more about that on. Actually, listen to some of the fun stuff that I did before the convention in the previous episode, Amaluna and John Wick 3. No spoilers in that episode, but I'll talk a little bit more about the convention itself in this week's new comics episode, which will be coming out tomorrow on Wednesday. The only segments that I watched as they aired were A Moment of Bliss, which I really liked. It was super funny. I sort of was able to pay attention to the Usos versus the Revival. It was awesome. Watching a second time, it was also awesome. These two teams are fantastic, and it's so much better when they're actually having wrestling in the match instead of stupid pranks and things like that. These two teams are great. And then I also saw the unveiling of the new 24/7 championship, and the first champion getting a hold of it, Titus O'Neil. But I stopped, my feed stopped like as he was holding that high at the top of the ramp. So it turned out just a few seconds after that, Robert Roode attacked him, pinned him, and became the second 24/7 champion. And later on, I didn't see this until later, because I decided, so this is the journey back home was fraught with peril. Not really, but yes, a little bit. So as soon as I landed, I'm just sitting there on the airplane waiting for most of the rest of the people to get off so I could get up and get my suitcase and all that. So I started watching it at that point, and it was snowing. It was snowing in Denver in the middle of May. Not even the middle of May. We're almost to the end of May. We're 2/3 of the way through May, and there's a big snowstorm. And anyway, so I was also watching part of A Moment of Bliss. I watched that while I was waiting for my baggage, etc., etc. And then I watched the 24/7 championship unveiling during the first part of my Lyft ride from the airport to home. But I stopped watching because my data went out or something. It just the internet wasn't working for some reason, even though I had almost full bars. Whatever. I stopped watching, and instead I was watching the road because I was worried that my driver maybe wasn't, because it was snowing a lot. Visibility was poor. The road quality was very bad. But right at the beginning of my drive, well, first of all, this driver is snowing, right? Snowing a lot. He has a 2005 Toyota Corolla, which I'm not sure you're even allowed to drive a car that old. I don't know. But whatever the case is, it's not a good car for driving in the snow, especially slushy snow, slippery, slushy snow, because it was raining all day before it turned into snow. Anyway, I told him as we were leaving, first of all, I texted him as soon as the ride was accepted, hey, I'm going to be at this door, because it doesn't give me, I didn't say all this, but I said, I'm going to be a little bit further down at 617, door 617, instead of door 613, because in the app, the highest door, the highest door number you can choose is 613. So everybody's piled up over there. especially because the middle part of the terminal between 613 and 609, all of that is blocked off for construction as far as inside of the building goes. So everybody's there at 613. So that's why I texted him, hey, I'm going to be a little bit further down, 617. He finally arrives, and I see he's stopped, on the map. He's stopped where 613 is. I'm like, son of a... He didn't even read the thing. It's snowing. I was in California. I didn't have a jacket or anything with me. I could have dug into my luggage to get a long sleeve shirt or whatever, but I actually kind of like it. It felt really good, I thought, to be out there in the cold for a few minutes. But I wanted to avoid like all those cars. It wasn't so much about being in the cold and having to walk over there. It was about all these cars, and like I send you a message, like maybe read it. He calls, and I'm like, I have my headphones in, but when I answer my phone, it goes to being the iPhone, not to my headset for whatever reason. So like I'm trying to answer and whatnot, and I finally do. He says, I'm at 613. I'm like, I told you 67. Whatever. I was already walking over there. Anyway, that was annoying from the jumping off point. But then, so I tell him right at the start of the drive, hey, I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry. Drive as slow as you need to go. I thought that was very clear instructions. Right off the bat, he's like passing people on the right, changing lanes and stuff. Like, no, stop it, and take the toll road. There's not gonna be as many cars and whatnot. He kept on passing people, like speeding up, like going the speed limit, but it's snowing. Like, don't go 65. Actually, it was under the speed. I think it's 70. It's 75 on the toll road there. But it's still, it's snow. Do you not understand the physics of what's happening in the vehicle you're controlling? Finally, at one point, I was like, hey, just stay in this lane, please. Stay in the right lane. Don't worry. Don't pass anybody. And yeah, so I was less stressed out that final part of but then it was a whole thing. Once I actually got into my apartment complex, I said, hey, stop at those stairs there on the left. I'm like pointing at him, and he like just keeps going past him, and oh my god, it was super bothersome. I mean, I wished him safety to get home safe and all that. I was like, you gotta like stop driving, go home. You gotta go home. It's not worth it. So hopefully that guy got home, and that he only drives when it's not inclement weather from now on. Or if he does drive in inclement weather, he doesn't do airport runs. Like, good lord. Anyway, so that's why I didn't watch live. I watched a few clips at night. I saw all the Brock boombox memes, which I absolutely love. And then actually seeing those segments with Brock Lesnar is great. I'm on board with this. I enjoy this a lot. Brock as a beast in the bank, Mr. Money in the Bank. I think it's going to be really fun. And there's a lot of stuff in this episode that I liked. It gives me hope for things to be very entertaining, at least in the next few weeks. And hopefully it gets more and more entertaining going into SummerSlam, because that is actually, I am going to go to Extreme Rules. That's going to be a weird, interesting weekend, but I think it'll work out. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to that. I have to check. I did buy it. I'm pretty sure I bought a ticket for that. I think I bought it on Vivid Seats, so I could get an actually good ticket. Hey, come on now. Oh yes, I did. I did get that on Vivid Seats, so I could get a good seat on there. So I'm pretty excited for that. It's the one. Um, that's the one pay per view last year that I didn't go to in person, other than the overseas ones. And so it's kind of like filling out the card, I guess. But then they go and change Backlash into Stomping Ground. I'm just going to consider Stomping Ground as Backlash anyway, so that it doesn't count that I did go to that one last year, so I can say that I've been to every pay per view over two, not every pay per view, but you know what I mean. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited for that. There's two pay per views between then now and then, plus a takeover. And then the next one after that is SummerSlam, which I am going to, and I'm super. So I hope things continue on this. I think this 24/7 championship has a lot of fun potential. There's already been some great social media posts because of it, and I'm looking forward to it. But I'll get more on that in just a minute. Let's see. We opened up with the Beast in the Bank come out, and he's jamming to his boombox Money in the Bank contract suitcase. Seth comes out, and Kofi comes out, and Paul Heyman with the best quote. Basically, he's hyping up that Brock could cash in on either one of them, and who is it going to be? The Beast is yet to come. I'm sure he's said that before, but I enjoyed his the usage of it. Especially in context of the Money in the Bank. We had Braun versus Sammy. Let's see. Braun won this match after chasing Sammy in the back, and he carried him back out and beat him up. We had Lars Sullivan get beat up a little bit by Lucha House Party. Something. I can't remember exactly how that ended. Cesaro versus Ricochet. Go watch this match, even though it's kind of short when you factor in the Secret Life of Pets picture-in-picture commercials and all of that, but it is still fantastic. Cesaro is incredible, and so is Ricochet. Cesaro has new music. I kind of like it. It's pretty cool. And also, he still has, despite having new music, the back of his trunk still say The Bar, and he still does the bar thing. And he doesn't do the suit thing or anything like that. He doesn't do the suit thing anymore. So I like that the bar is what is continuing. And we have Roman versus Shane announced for Super Showdown after a whole thing with Roman Shane. The Miz is pretty pissed at Shane. He still wants a piece of him. But Drew is there fighting Shane's battles. And so later on, we'll get Miz versus Drew McIntyre. Then we had the awesome match, Usos versus The Revival. The Revival won. I'm jumping ahead of my notes here. I'll get to that in a second. The best part of this match, I thought, was this whole sequence that involved a tornado DDT outside by Dash Wilder. That was so awesome. But the Revival wins via a roll-up with a tights grab. And then backstage, the Revival are so excited they interrupt Alexa and Nikki, and Dash is just like spitting all over the place. Some of it gets on Alexa, and she's grossed out. It was really funny. Then we had a moment of bliss with Nikki Cross as her Andy Richter, and she just keeps getting in the way. Alexa demands coffee. And somebody brings her 2 cups of coffee, and she pours both of them into the one cup and then tries to give that one back, but then gives it to Nikki, who is kind of disappointed. But, what does that say? Refuses. Oh, yeah. Alexa wore her ring gear so that she wouldn't risk having lost her luggage. But I think that means that she traveled, that she was on airplanes and everything wearing her gear, and that's pretty funny. Pretty funny image. So the Iconics come out, and Lacey Evans come out, and Becky says, "I'm gonna slap the head off all you dopes," and all that. Blech. "I'm gonna slap the heads off all three of you dopes," she says. And Nikki says, "I'll be your partner." And then Becky says, "Well, I guess she'll be our partner too, Alexa." And Alexa says, I didn't sign up for this. And Becky says, "Well, just stand there and look pretty. It's fine." So Alexa makes her way down to the ring with her coffee and just sipping that coffee the entire match. That was my favorite part of it. Becky wins by pinning Billie Kay. And celebration afterwards, Becky and Nikki Cross raise their hands, and Alexa tries to get in on that action, but Becky just kind of brushes her off, leaving Alexa and Nikki to celebrate together as Becky leaves. So yeah, Alexa was really funny in this match, and Nikki Cross is pretty good too. But all 6 people in this whole thing were a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, good on ya, all ya. Good on all ya. Then we have Mick Foley debut the 24/7 title. He lays it down in the middle of the ring to initiate a scramble where a whole bunch of people come out and just wailing away at each other, including Mojo Rawley, EC3. Who else was out there? Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick seems the most driven out of everyone to get this championship. But Titus wins the championship. And as he's celebrating at the top of the ramp, I already mentioned this, Robert Roode attacks him, gets the pin, and becomes the champion for a few minutes. Because later, as he is trying to escape from everybody that's going after the championship, R-Truth helps him hide in the back of a car. Everybody else goes running the other way. But then R-Truth, having successfully helped Robert Roode evade everybody, he then attacks Roode himself and gets the referees right there. He was with him. He was in the car, I think. And okay, so here. Anyway, R-Truth wins, and then he takes off in his rental car, and he's the champion. Maybe it's his own car. Where does he live? Does he live in the? If he lives near the WWE headquarters, then that might be his own. Anyway, that doesn't matter at all. So he is currently, as of this recording, as far as I know, R-Truth is the 24/7 champion. There's been a few updates, few people looking for him, mainly Drake Maverick. He's made up a whole bunch of wanted flyers. It was super funny. And also Kathy Kelly is looking for him just to interview him. But she has John Cone with her in one of the clips that she posted. And yeah, that would be pretty fun. It seems that it wasn't clarified on social media. It seems as though they're saying that women are able to win this championship as well. So we'll find out if that's true or not. But until then, like, the fun of it is still there. Okay, so this is what I was wondering. If you're the 24/7 champion, will you always have a ref with you, or the people who want to get it from you, they're the ones who have to get a ref to come with them? I think that makes it a little bit more. That makes it a little bit more dodgy, I think. But then, if there's no referees available, then you're safe. So it's kind of a balance there, one thing or the other. Because we have what is available for. Got an update from Amazon. Oh yeah, it's all coming out. The Dragon Ball Z complete box sets of the manga, they come out in a couple of weeks. What was I saying? Yeah, because I think the referee, R-Truth supplied that referee. But on the other hand, the referee grabbed the championship and brought it to Robert Roode after he was trying to just escape everybody. So I'm not sure. Maybe some of them are aligned with more people than they are with others. I guess we'll find out. But as I'm guessing, since Kathy grabbed a referee to come with her to look for R-Truth to interview him, that it's up to the challenger to provide one. But it also might mean that if a referee happens to be nearby the 24/7 champion, that they're obligated to participate if somebody does challenge them. So there could be some conflict if they end up in a place where, like the referee's lounge, they might end up in there, and then it's just a free fall of referees. A referee could challenge him, and then another referee could count him out or refuse to count him out because they want to challenge him themselves. Anyway, I'm I'm looking forward to all this. I know there's a lot of talk about it being just a watered down hardcore championship and like how bad the championship belt looks, all of that. But if this is in fact the only it is the championship that they're using the entire time, it's going to get a lot of people have made this point that it's going to get really, really beat up, and it could like build a personality of its look over time. Like I could see it having like requiring duct tape and stuff to keep it together, and that's that aspect of it. I think as time goes, it'll grow on a lot more people, and it will look a lot more fun. The belt itself will will gain personality. It's kind of like a blank slate in that way. Like the completely blank side plates, like I don't mind that at all, because you could see people like just using a Sharpie and writing their names on there and stuff like that. I think there's some potential to it as far as all that stuff goes. So I'm really excited for it. Then we had Drew McIntyre versus The Miz. Drew won, and then Shane got involved quite a bit. But Shane had Drew set him up so that he could deliver one last coast to coast to Miz to finish their business. But they're interrupted by Roman Reigns, who fights off Drew and Shane. And then a no disqualification match between the team of Kofi and Seth versus Bobby Lashley and Baron Corbin. Kofi won this match via a Trouble in Paradise to Corbin. And then Brock Lesnar comes out and teases both of them with a cash-in, but does not. We hear Heyman telling him, we got in their heads. We come back next week and we tell them who we're going to cash in on. But is that what they're actually going to do? I think it's going to be more and more troll moves from Heyman and the Beast. It's time for Heyman and the Beast. Another kids show. We also had the Firefly Funhouse segment. That reminds me. That was more so like a teaser type of thing, because of the birth of Bray and get him and JoJo. JoJo gave birth to their baby, and so that's good. Everything ended up going well. It looked like that things there were complications, all that. So it's good that it turned out well in the end. But that is why there wasn't a whole brand new Firefly Funhouse. Or he was supposed to. I guess he was supposed to actually. I might be just perpetuating rumors, but I think it makes sense that they was completely. Whether he was actually supposed to have a full actual appearance or just a new regular episode, then that makes sense from what happened with their new baby. Nash 6, I believe, is the name, with a K at the beginning of Nash for Kevin Nash. Anyway, that segment was pretty creepy, and all the the dead-eyed children that are going to be part of this cult are yeah. There's some potential horrifying things to be looking forward to, or to be fearing that are coming if you let them in. So that's the end of my notes. This episode is very, very long, I think. Yep, this is a pretty long episode. So I'll leave it at that. It's just an hour and a half until SmackDown starts. So I'll be watching that very, very soon. Right before then, I realize I have enough time to watch Doom Patrol, get caught up on that. So let me know what you thought about this week's Monday Night Raw and the 24/7 Championship by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. Oh, I totally didn't talk about this. Samoa Joe wants Ray to give him back his championship, and we're told that next week we'll find out what is going on with the United States Championship from Rey Mysterio or whoever. If he has to give it up, if he's injured or whatnot, we'll see. Yeah, tweet me, go to TIW Podcast, all that. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. And I'll be back real soon with more here on TIW Podcast. I ruined it. Stay safe out there in all the infinite, in multiverses, especially if you drive an old two-wheel drive car in a blizzard. Like, just stop driving, or drive very slowly, safely home. Don't try to make any more money by driving out there. All right, that's it. Thanks for listening, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.